Last month sparked the 10-year anniversary of A Dance with Dragons. Yes, it's been 10 years already. If the 6-year gap between Feast and Dance was no indication that we were in for a patience lesson, we definitely know better now. Hi, I'm Ricky from House of the Stag, and today let's have a look at why Winds of Winter still isn't out yet. It all seemed to be going so well. In 2011, A Song of Ice and Fire fans not only got to see the saga make it to the screen through season 1 of Game of Thrones, the fifth installment of the book series also got released, A Dance with Dragons, the follow-up to A Feast for Crows, both of which George originally planned to release as one book. Splitting up both books gave him a head start for Winds of Winter, as he cut around 150 to 200 pages of Dance. But fast forward 10 years, and here we are, still waiting for Book 6, The Winds of Winter. So, what happened? To take a closer look, let's split this into two separate categories. 1. George's projects, and 2. The story of the Dance. George R. R. Martin is a busy man, and it's no secret that he tends to work on multiple fronts at the same time. That's actually how A Song of Ice and Fire became a thing. Martin was working on another story when suddenly he envisioned the Starks finding the direwolf pups. With all due respect, George is known to be easily distracted, so let's look at some of the distractions in this case. Since 2011, George has worked on quite a lot of other stories. I'm sure I forgot something, but let's compile some of his projects outside of the A Song of Ice and Fire world. He helps developing Roger Zelazny's Road Marks as well as Nidia Okorafor's Who Fears Death for HBO. He's a co-executive producer on Dark Winds, an upcoming Western thriller for AMC. He's working as an advisor to adaptations of his own short stories, Sand Kings as well as Into the Lost Land. He's been working on the video game Elden Ring. He worked on his own Wildcards book series and released a graphic novel called Starport. He opened his own movie theater in Santa Fe. He appeared on countless fan conventions around the globe and went on American late night shows. He has cameos on Sharknado and C Nation. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
He has amazing muscle memory from all those years of signing books. It's a reflex. I have hundreds of these. I'm gonna make tons of money when eBay comes back. I'm gonna be damn rich.
Nice.
Well, and when it comes to the world of Ice and Fire, he's writing a play about the tourney at Harrenhal. He co-wrote/wrote the two books, The World of Ice and Fire and Fire and Blood Part 1. Oh god. Oh god, he's working on Part 2 right now, isn't he? He helped develop numerous Game of Thrones spin-off shows, such as the upcoming House of the Dragon. Rumors suggest that HBO might go for an animated A Song of Ice and Fire TV show, a prequel about Nymeria and her 10,000 ships, a spin-off about Corlys Velaryon, as well as a Duncan Egg show. He could, in some shape or form, be involved in the development of all of these. Now, you might say, so what? Most of this stuff is conceptual stuff. He doesn't 100% fully commit to any of it. Well, George once said that he only ever works on Winds of Winter when he's at home or in self-isolation. Why is that, you ask? Well, here's a picture of the man's computer. He's using an old DOS machine. You wouldn't want to bring that one with you, would you? All in all, it can definitely be said that all of that combined is playing a huge factor as to why Winds of Winter is still not out yet. It seems like George R. R. Martin just can't say no. The other component I'd like to talk about is the story itself. As mentioned before, George R. R. Martin split up what was supposed to be Book 4, A Dance with Dragons, into two books. As a result, our point of view character count jumps from 10 to 22. We're not sure how many of those will show up in wins, but I think we're talking about 15 to 20 individual POVs. It really goes without saying that combined with Martin's style of writing poses problems. George described himself as more of a gardener than an architect, meaning he constantly figures key parts of the story out rather than doing outlines. I'm sure he has a broad idea on where the characters might end up, but the way he gets there is where the problems arise. George also used to write different versions for events of the story. Here's how George describes how the arrival of Drogon to Meereen came along. The return of Drogon to the city was something I explored as happening at different times. For example, I wrote three different versions of Quentyn Martell's arrival at Meereen. One where he arrived long before Dany's marriage, one where he arrived much later, and one where he arrived just the day before the marriage. And I had to write all three versions to be able to compare and see how these different arrival points affected the stories of the other characters, including the story of a character who actually hasn't arrived yet. It's crystal clear that the Marine storyline is probably causing the most trouble in terms of writing. While I do believe Danny is going to get a Kalasar, all the other stuff is going to be completely different to what we've seen in the television show. Barristan Selmy is alive and well, defending the city during the Battle of Fire. Victorian Greyjoy, a character who doesn't even exist in Thrones, is arriving with a horn that can supposedly bind dragons to his will. Jorah and Tyrion are amongst the chaos of the siege and did not meet up with Dany yet. It honestly becomes more and more chaotic the more I think about it. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the late introduction to young Griff, a character who also never showed up on Game of Thrones. He is supposedly Rhaegar Targaryen's true-born son, even though some fans, me included, speculate that he's actually a Blackfyre. Why would Martin bother bringing him in so late just to have him fail? I actually believe that young Griff will sit on the Iron Throne for a while, and if you look at the situation in King's Landing right now, there has to happen a lot of stuff beforehand to make that possible. Then we get the North and all this politics. Jon Snow just died, Stannis is miles away from Castle Black, awaiting battle, and Davos is looking for Rickon Stark in Skagos. If you add all of this to the large amount of side projects George has, you just realize how difficult it has become. I do, however, have an alternate reason as to why George didn't finish Winds of Winter yet. Here's a bit from a podcast episode we did, and we got it all figured out.
Yeah, what if he just spilled something over his computer? Like, let's say he was finished in 2016, right around the time when we had season 6, and what's his wife's name? I don't know.
Paris?
Yeah, Paris came in, and she was like, "George, honey, here's coffee," and she spilled it all over his computer, and that's why
Oh man,
we're stuck back in time, and now he has to rewrite all
dude,
this
that
stuff.
would be so bad. Especially he has one of those old computers. He doesn't back anything up on cloud.
Yeah,
Insane.
and
He has like a DOS machine. I don't know how he deals with that. What if that actually happened? What if the so-called rewrite is he spilled his monster energy all over the place and just got
like a true gamer in his gaming channel.
yeah, it's like before season 5, he was like, I was about to finish. He didn't have the heart to tell us that his monster energy was spilled onto his computer with no backup, no like external SSD. It's just gone. Yeah.
Oh no.
We were harsh on George, but actually he finished. He's just trying to remember what the hell he wrote for 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And now he's just trying to rewrite the whole thing.
Well, let's hope it's not George R. R. Martin's Monster Energy. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. When do you think Wins is gonna drop? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got lots of stuff coming, more podcast episodes as well as theory discussions with Game of Thrones extra Andy McClay aka Sir Strongbeard. See us later.